Hi, so this is Sean. So today's video is going to be about the new Swatch Blancpain 50 Fathoms. I prefer vintage swatches at the moment, so I hadn't really realised that this was coming out, and then I was on Vinted this morning. I made a video, obviously, I'm obsessed with Vinted, and I was looking for Swatch. By the way, Vinted can be quite good for Swatch. Some people are just trying to make money off rare and vintage swatches, but some people will not know those things, and you might be able to get a bargain. Not that we want to take advantage of people on Vinted, obviously, but there was a new Swatch 50 Fathoms on sale for £800. The retail is £340, and it only came out yesterday, so this person has bought it to sell it for a profit. Obviously that's old news, and it's a bit boring, I think, getting annoyed about it, but it kind of doesn't stop me getting annoyed about it, because it's stupid. You know, for a start, why would you, I mean, obviously for money, that's why you do it, but also, I mean, to return a profit of £400 to queue up, these people probably have money anyway, because they're obviously sellers, because a normal person would not do that. I don't know, maybe I'm being stupid. But the biggest thing about this is I don't get it. I don't really get what Swatch are doing. So Blancpain is one of the Swatch Group brands, and it does beg the question, are they just going to release a collaboration with all of their brands, and how do they choose which ones to do, and things like that. Blancpain is one of the top tier brands of Swatch. The 50 Fathoms is Blancpain wasn't really that like a luxury brand back in the day, and the 50 Fathoms, I'm sorry if this video is all over the place, but it's just a rant really about this new watch. The 50 Fathoms was released, I think, in 1953 or perhaps 1952, and it was the first ever professional dive watch, really. 50 Fathoms, the depth resistant rating, and the Blancpain 50 Fathoms was revived, and it still exists. You can buy it, and it's a very expensive watch. It's more expensive at retail than the Submariner. It's more expensive at retail than the Seamaster, etc. So it's a top tier luxury dive watch, if you like, even though it isn't really, because it's a sports watch. And I just don't get why Swatch are doing these collaborations. They could make much more money if they made the versions, they're not limited, but they are really, because they're not keeping up with demand, so that makes them limited. They only sell them in certain shops, in certain Swatch stores, so they don't sell them in all of them. And if anyone, I have owned a Moon Swatch and I sold it. I did not buy it in a Swatch store because I wouldn't have been able to. I bought it from a seller on eBay, and I paid a premium for it, not that much of a premium, and I made the money back, but I did pay a premium, which I don't like because it feels hypocritical because I'm making these videos, but I did want to experience it. I'm a fan of Omega. I've owned a Moon watch. I'm a fan of Swatch. I own lots of Swatches. But it doesn't feel like, to me, and please tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, it doesn't feel to me like that's the type of person that's buying these watches. The person who listed that item on Vinted might be a fan of Swatch. They might be a fan of Omega, but they can't be that much of a fan because it says on the website one per person, and they've sold it straight away, or they're trying to sell it. Maybe they just didn't like it. Maybe they just wanted to experience it for a bit and then sell it at a really, really hefty profit. But, you know, I don't get that aspect of it, because on the one hand, I get the whole Swatch is a postmodern company thing. They've always done that. So, you know, postmodern, for me, Swatch is the perfect representation of like postmodern companies and postmodern culture. They take a high cultural product like art, and they make it more accessible to the masses by putting it on the dials of £60 watches. That's a brilliant thing, and it kind of breaks down barriers. Swatch is also postmodern in the sense that their products are inherently kind of superficial and surface level. So you don't buy a Swatch for its movement or for the fact that it's a high knowledge product or a highbrow product. It's a piece of plastic that is inherently disposable, and that's what makes them fun. And that's what I love about them. I think they're unpretentious, they're stylish, and I think I kind of use them in a way that moves away from that. I feel like I want to, well, it's not, I mean, it is a postmodern thing, expressing your identity. So I am wearing, this is like, it's called the Grande Bracciatio or something like that, and it's, God knows why it's called that, but it's a watch with Snoopy on it. I like Snoopy, I like peanuts, and I use that to signify that. So it's not superficial, it does have meaning. But with these collaborations, and I am overthinking it because I overthink everything, but with these collaborations, it seems to me to be doing a disservice to both of the brands, right? So you've got Swatch. Swatch is a company that's supposed to be democratic. It's supposed to be bringing quality watches to the masses, okay? People can't buy these new watches. They're only available in certain stores. Let's be honest, they're going to be available to favorite customers who spend money in the stores and things like that, which is against the whole ethos of the company as far as I'm aware. I'm a bit backward in coming forward when I go into the Swatch stores, but I have asked a few times, is the Moon Swatch available? Is the Moon Swatch available? And they've been like, no. And then another 10 people ask after you, so you feel like a bit of a dick for asking. It just seems completely at odds with the whole Swatch thing, you know. Swatch is playful, lowbrow, fun. Blancpain 50 Fathoms isn't. Let's be honest, it's not a popular watch. It's a watch for people who love watches and love the history of watches and love the movements and things like that. It doesn't match with Swatch in my opinion, but it also seems to be doing a disservice to Blancpain. You know, the whole point of luxury products, and let's be honest, Blancpain 50 Fathoms, the Moonwatch, is a luxury product nowadays. The Moonwatch is something ridiculous, like £7,000 now. The vast majority of people can't afford to spend that money on a watch, so it cheapens the brand. If you can buy a plastic Moonwatch for £200, whatever the Moon Swatch costs now, why would you want the original? I don't get it. It seems to be that you've got these two products that are so poles apart, and you're cheapening both of them by having these collaborations. Hand on heart, I will probably try the Blancpain 50 Fathoms Swatch, but just to experience it, because I'm a fan of Swatch. Just so we know as well, there have been apparently massive queues all around the stores. It's really frustrating that it's only available in some stores as well, because it doesn't seem to be, again, very democratic. I live in the north-west of England. The Moon Swatch, I'm not sure whether the watches are going to be in the same stores, but it was London and I think a couple of stores in Scotland. So I live slap bang in the middle of those two places. London's about a 4-hour drive. Scotland's about a 4-hour drive. I'm not going to either of those places to buy this watch. The store that was closest to me is the Swatch store in the Arndale Centre, which is just closed. So, you know, I know this is a rant, so I apologise for that. Just in case you want some information about the watch, the watches are automatic. They're a System 51. They're 42mm, and there's various colour combinations and things like that. They come on a NATO strap. And again, it's another question. The retail price, as far as I'm aware, is £340. I would say System 51s, the average price of a System 51 is about 120, 130, 140 pounds, give or take. The Hodinkee System 51, which is plastic with a resin, strap, is about 160. So this is double the price of that, more than double. Is this the high level Swatch that goes against the whole ethos of the company of being cheap and cheerful? I don't get it. I really don't get it. It makes me a little bit mad, to be honest, even though it is a first world problem, I must be honest. Are they going to do more of these collaborations? I mean, I've got a picture on my computer behind me of all the different Swatch Group brands. Longines, Glashütte, Rado. Are they going to do, you know, collaborations with these brands? And that does kind of illustrate something kind of negative about Swatch, the Swatch Group, which is, you know, they own a host of other brands and movement makers and things like that. It's a bit of a cartel, and they own a large swathe of the Swiss watch industry. Are they just milking it for all it's worth? I really do dislike this new collaboration thing. I don't think it serves either brand, and I really don't get the thinking behind it. The only thing that I can think is the whole postmodern thing. We're combining two things from very different levels of the hierarchy of watches, but it's not combining in a way that makes it more democratic. It's combining it in a way that doesn't serve either brand. Yeah, so I don't know, it's just a bit of a rant, a bit of information about a new watch that's probably going to be very popular, going to be talked about for a long time, and it's close to my heart because obviously I love Swatch. Tell me what you think in the comments. I think there's going to be a lot of videos on YouTube about this. You know, don't buy the new Swatch. It's not that. It's not the watch itself. I'm sure it's a great watch. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's interesting. It's just the whole thinking behind it, and the branding and the fact that the two brands, it seems to be, it's not pulling Swatch up. Well, it is pulling Swatch up in a way that doesn't serve the company, and it's pulling Blancpain down in a way that doesn't. I just don't get it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and I apologize if this video was too negative. Thanks very much. Bye bye.